Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over the event Defeat the World Boss. This event is an event that actually happens 3 times every day. When I say every day, I mean every game day. It will be different times for everybody, so if you're looking for which times it happens for you, here is the military times for you. So for me, it's at 1500, 2300, and 7. So for me, that's 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. So that's my time zone. Your time zone will be different, and then the rewards happen an hour after the last time. With this, you only need to participate once per day. You're welcome to participate as many times per day, but I'll explain to you kind of why that is in a second here. So, if we go into the rewards here, there's 3 different types of rewards you get for this. So there's the individual, kill, and alliance reward. So we'll start with the kill reward because this is based on how many times you attack it. You are not going to kill the world boss. I think the closest we've gotten is like 13%. So I'm sure there's servers that have gotten closer, but it would take a lot to actually kill this thing. So with that, your kill rewards are based on how many times a day you attack it, not how many times you attack it each time. It's how many times per day. So you could attack it once in the morning and 4 times at your last time. You can attack it 0 times the first 2 times and all 5 on the last time. You can attack it all 5 on the first time. It doesn't matter how it works as long as the total is 5, and you will get the top tier rewards for that. You do not get third, second, and first place rewards. You only get whichever one you did the most. So if you hit it 3 times, you'll get the second place rewards. If you hit it 5 times, you'll get the first. If you only hit it once, you'll get the bottom one. If you hit it in between, obviously, you'll just get your best rewards. So if you hit it 4 times, you'll get the second. If you hit it twice, you'll get the bottom one. The other 2 rewards are based on your best place between the 3 time slots. So what that means is if you only participate once, you can still get first place for alliance or individual rewards without participating in the other 2. So that is kind of important because a lot of people get this misconstrued that you have to take first place in every single round. You don't. You only have to take first place in one of the 3 time slots and you'll get the rewards. The alliance rewards, everybody in your alliance will get it whether they attacked or not. The individual rewards are only if you attack it and you place in the top 500 people. So a lot of newer servers, that 500 might actually be relevant. Our server, lucky if 100 people even hit it. So that's kind of how that all works. I want to just jump in quick and give a little word from our sponsor. So if you haven't tried it yet, you should definitely join the next generation of energy drinks. It is liquid ice. It is the most flavorful energy drink you'll ever have, and it does not have that nasty, bitter aftertaste that some of the competitors do have. If you're looking to try this, you can get a free sample from the link in the description. All you have to do is pay shipping on that, or you can order some from the link in the description that is Amazon. So definitely worth a try. My favorite's the Arctic Berry, but the other flavors are also all just as equally good. So it's kind of which one you prefer. I just like the Arctic Berry. So with that, we'll kind of jump into the rest of World Boss. So once you have decided which time slot you want to attack in, down at the bottom you would get what is normally a quick search button. So this quick search button will bring you directly to where the boss is. That quick search button also does show up if you're out in your main screen. It would normally show up right below where this little teaser clip thing is right now. So you would have a little button here that shows a little army dude with his hat on. So once you click that, you can go and fight him. When you fight him, you will want to make sure you send the best combination you can. And that it differs for every boss. So there are actually 3 different bosses, which I will show you right now. There's the Air Force boss, which is the General. There is the Admiral boss, which is the Navy. And the Marshal boss, which is the Army. Each of these bosses, if you can see right here, if you click on this little tip right here, you will get these 3 little circles. These 3 little circles tell you your 3 tips to what gives you extra damage versus the world boss. These 3 tips are the same for each boss, but it's just dependent on which weaknesses. And if you don't know, Army is strong against Air Force is strong against Navy is strong against Army. So keep that in mind because you'll want to try to choose which world boss is best for your army or your troop type. So for me, I always try to aim for the Air Force one, but please keep in mind that all three do not show up in a day. It is random. You could get all three Navy, you could get all three Army, you can get all three Air Force. It's completely random, so just kind of keep that in mind that things do happen. But so whichever troop type you have, you will get a 100% crit rate. So as long as you send Army against the Air Force boss, you will get a 100% crit rate. Your next one is a 300% damage to your crit rate. So your damage increase is 300% against that world boss. And then on top of it, this last one, it will explode if it's being attacked with two different special effects, dealing damage to equal 2000% of the attack, and this works 5 times in this battle. So what that means is that in your fight, you will want to, for your most part, send 2 different troop types. This goes against a lot of different marches for the game, but this is good for world boss. It's also good for droid. Droid also has similar weaknesses, so you want to try to send that, and I will show you what I mean by sending that out of there. So when you send your marches, you want to go into your war hall, go into your formation, choose a formation that you're going to fill. So I'm using number 6 for me, and this is my world boss formation. So you can set this up however you want. I highly suggest putting your stronger troops in the front, your weaker ones in the back, because that's how it should always be. But this front middle slot here, you do not want to put your Valhallas here unless you plan on repairing Valhallas. So this is the slot that you will have 1 wounded troop from every single time you attack world boss. I put my level 81 troop there because what that means is I'm putting a stronger troop there, and I can repair that for free basically because of the Wade special effect, or Wade exclusive skill. So that allows me to instantly repair this, so it's ready to go out again once it gets back. Any other slot you'll want to play to the advantage of your formations. So I try to put Valhallas in my other formation spots, and then I try to put Valhallas anywhere else I can because they're not going to get wounded, so I'll do maximum damage. I don't have enough Valhallas because I like to kill mine really fast when I get them. So I have 6 slots with Valhallas. I have 81s in that front, it's going to get wounded spot. And then I have a slot with level 80s. And then in the back right corner, your bottom corner, this is where you want to put your oddball troop. So I use Air Force because it just makes more sense for me. I don't want to use Navy because Navy is weak against Air Force. So I send Air Force against Air Force because then it's just a flat match. So keep that in mind. So if you're Navy, you'll want to send Air Force with because, or sorry, if you're Navy, you're going to want to send Army with because you're going to be fighting Army. And same thing, if you're Air Force, you're going to want to send Navy with because you're going to be fighting Army. So I think I said that right. If you're Air Force, you're going to want to send Navy with because you're going to fight Army. Yeah. So, or you're going to be fighting. Yeah. So anyways, you'll want to keep that in mind that this is how you're going to want to set it up. And then you just hit set. Make sure you set your formation. I'm sorry I didn't show you that. Make sure you set your formation to which one you want. Obviously, you're going to want to do more attack damage because the world boss doesn't really fight you back as much as other things do in the game. So basically, your setup is to maximize your amount of damage you can do. The next thing you're going to want to set up is your special effects lab. So that's this little triangle building here. Hit the little triangle on top. And this is where you want to make sure that you have 2 different elements. So being that I chose Army and Air Force, I want to choose an effect that's, oops, I don't want to click that, sorry. An effect that's good for Army, an effect that's good for Air Force to do more damage. So I have Piercing for Army, and I have Explosion for Air Force. And you can see which types they are over here on the left. These cannot be the same if those are the true troops that you're sending. So if I send Army and Navy right now, I will not get that bonus. But being that I'm sending Army and Air Force, I will get that bonus. And click through these, you can see which ones obviously are going to be better for it. Increasing extra attack is good. Reduces damage from crits, not worth it when you're fighting world boss. And then increase extra damage from crits. So that one would be worth it, but being that I'm sending Air Force and there's nothing else good in Air Force besides Explosion, I choose piercing for army. I also leave that on piercing for army because I will 100% forget to change that before I go PvP. So um, once that's set up, you can go in and make sure your heroes are set up. So your heroes, you want to make sure you have attacking things. So always have your 2 march sizes, your rare and non-rare. You'll want to have a damage increase, and then this last slot, this is where you can change things. I would put a damage increase, a rare damage increase instead of attack. And then for Katyusha, same thing for me. And this is where I'm not going to sit here and go through every hero and show you guys everything, but for the general, what I told you for Ben would work for everybody. So 2 march sizes, damage increase, attack increase, or damage or crit damage increase. So that is this guy right here. So your crit damage increased by 2.5% at that level. I don't flip mine around because I'm not worried about doing absolute max damage, because I will forget this and then I end up losing more troops and losing other battles that are more important than world boss to me. But if you're that type of person that's really good at remembering things, or you want to do your absolute best, that's the skills that I would use. Things differ with different heroes, so that's something, if you have a question about, please feel free to ask it in the comment section. I can do my best to answer any and all questions. Just remember to try to give me as much detail as you can if you do, because if you tell me I have Katyusha and Ben and I want to, what skills are the best, I won't know, because I don't know your level skills and what you're kind of thinking. So you got to kind of give me a little information to go with that. So like with me, I'd say, oh yeah, I have Katyusha and Ben. All my skills are right around level 4 or 5. What's going to be my best option? And then I can answer based off of that. Or I can give you advice of which ones you want to kind of focus on increasing. So those are your skills. Your components would be, you'll want to do, so I already have this set up, and you can see here I already forgot to change for my world boss set components. You'll want crit damage, damage increase, hit, and attack. Those ones are relevant. High fire rate isn't actually relevant for world boss, but from previous testing we found that for some reason it increases your damage. Otherwise, if you kind of look through here, none of these other ones have anything to do with it. HP, no relation. Crit buff you would think would have a relation, but you got to remember you have that special perk for attacking world boss where you get 100% crit rate, so that's useless. Reduces damage from crits, useless. Dodge, useless. So it's kind of, all these other things are kind of useless for fighting the world boss. So these are kind of what you want on your main march. So high fire rate, crit damage, damage increase, hit, weapon buff. Now for your secondary, you can switch out the high fire rate for that crit buff, because the crit buff is actually relevant for that secondary slot, that one tile that you have, because for Air Force, I don't get that 100% because it's not Army attacking Air Force, it's Air Force attacking Air Force. So I want to increase that. For me, it's 45%. For you, it might be different. So other than that, make sure you use your buffs. If you're trying to do maximum damage, make sure you go and use your Villers. Make sure you use your paints. So you can come in here, pop all your paints, attack, damage decrease isn't really useful, and HP isn't really useful. I end up popping them all just because, but they're not really useful for anything other than that. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a wonderful day or night. Please remember to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Every subscription really helps the channel move towards our goal of 1,000. Remember to order your liquid ice in the description below, and see ya.